The arrival of the Philippine Navy's new backbone fleet, 4 modern frigates, including the Batch 2 ships BRP Miguel Malvar and the soon-to-be-delivered BRP Diego Silang, represents a historic step forward. But having modern ships is only one part of naval power. The other, often less glamorous but equally vital, is sustainment, the ability to maintain, repair, and upgrade those ships over time. Without robust maintenance infrastructure, even the most advanced frigates risk becoming little more than floating symbols, sidelined for months when they should be at sea. This is why the reopening of the Subic Bay shipyard in September 2025, with support from the United States and South Korea, is so strategically important. It is not just about restoring an old naval base. It is about building the backbone to sustain the backbone fleet. Subic Bay carries a deep history. During the Cold War, it was the largest U.S. naval base in Asia, a hub capable of servicing aircraft carriers, cruisers, and submarines. Its dry docks and repair facilities symbolized American power projection in the Pacific. When the U.S. withdrew in 1992, the base was converted into a commercial and industrial zone, but its naval infrastructure slowly decayed. For decades, the Philippines lacked the resources to restore Subic to its former role. That is now changing. With new investments and technical assistance from Seoul and Washington, Subic Bay is once again being prepared to handle warship maintenance, including the complex demands of modern frigates. The timing could not be better. The Jose Rizal-class and the Miguel Malvar-class frigates represent the cutting edge of the Philippine Navy's modernization. They are equipped with advanced radars, vertical launch systems, anti-ship and anti-submarine warfare capabilities. But such sophistication comes at a price. These ships require careful maintenance cycles, regular dry docking, and highly skilled technicians. Sending them abroad for overhaul, as has been the practice, is not only expensive, but also leaves the fleet exposed during long absences. Having Subic Bay operational means the Philippine Navy can shorten downtime, reduce costs, and ensure its ships spend more time at sea, where they are most needed. The role of allies in this transformation is crucial. The United States views Subic not just as a Philippine asset, but as a shared hub for regional security. By investing in the shipyard, Washington ensures that its own vessels operating in the South China Sea have a friendly port of call for resupply and repair. This deepens interoperability and embeds the Philippines into the logistics chain of allied navies. South Korea's role is even more direct. Having built both the Jose Rizal and Miguel Malvar classes through Hyundai Heavy Industries, Seoul is uniquely positioned to provide the technical expertise and training required to sustain them. The reopening of Subic Bay therefore strengthens not only Philippine capabilities, but also the defense-industrial relationship with South Korea. Strategically, this changes the calculus. A navy that can sustain its ships domestically is a navy that can plan long-term operations with confidence. It means that the backbone fleet can be reliably deployed to contested waters such as Scarborough Shoal or Second Thomas Shoal without fear that extended downtime will cripple presence. It also means that Manila can credibly commit to joint operations with allies like the United States, Japan, Australia, and Canada, knowing that its ships can be kept ready without over-reliance on foreign yards. In effect, Subic Bay becomes a force multiplier, enabling not just the 4 frigates, but the entire Philippine Navy to operate with greater endurance. The implications extend beyond maintenance. Subic Bay's revival opens the door to future ambitions of localized production. While building a full frigate domestically remains a distant goal, the possibility of constructing modules, patrol vessels, or auxiliary ships in country is no longer unthinkable. This is the pathway toward industrial self-reliance. Every ship maintained at Subic builds Filipino technical expertise. Every engineer trained reduces dependence, and every investment made strengthens the foundation for a defense industry that can one day contribute to regional supply chains. Yet challenges remain. Skilled manpower is perhaps the most pressing. Modern frigates are not jeepneys or fishing boats. They require specialized knowledge of electronics, propulsion systems, combat management, and integrated weapons. Training Filipino engineers and technicians to handle such complexity will take years. For now, reliance on South Korean expertise is unavoidable. Financial constraints are another issue. The Philippine defense budget is still modest relative to its needs. Operating a shipyard at world-class standards is expensive, requiring steady funding, spare parts, and a professionalized workforce. Political volatility could also play a role. A change in administration might deprioritize defense spending, slowing progress. Despite these hurdles, the direction is unmistakable. Subic Bay represents more than infrastructure. It is a strategic statement. It tells China that the Philippines is not only acquiring modern ships, but also building the means to keep them at sea for decades. It tells allies that Manila is serious about being a reliable partner, capable of sustaining its contributions to regional security. It tells Filipinos that their Navy's modernization is not a fleeting project, but a long-term commitment anchored in national capability. The reopening of Subic Bay also creates opportunities for multinational cooperation. Australian and Japanese ships already visit Philippine ports regularly. In time, Subic could serve as a regional maintenance node for Allied forces, making Manila an indispensable part of collective logistics. This would elevate the Philippines from being a recipient of security assistance to being a contributor to the regional security architecture. Looking forward, the linkage between Subic Bay and the future Batch 3 frigates becomes critical. If Horizon 3 modernization results in 2 to 4 additional frigates, or even light destroyers, Subic will need to handle a fleet of 6 to 8 high-end warships. That is a transformative prospect, but only achievable if the shipyard is scaled appropriately. In this sense, Subic Bay is not just about sustaining today's backbone fleet, but preparing for tomorrow's. In conclusion, the Philippine Navy's modernization cannot succeed on ships alone. It requires the invisible but essential foundation of maintenance, repair, and sustainment. The reopening of Subic Bay shipyard is therefore as important as the commissioning of any frigate. It is what ensures that the backbone fleet remains a fleet rather than a collection of sidelined hulls. It is what allows Manila to project presence consistently in contested waters, to stand by its fishermen, and to deter coercion. And it is what paves the way for a defense industry that may one day allow the Philippines not only to buy ships, but to build them. So the real question is not whether the Philippines can acquire modern warships. It already has. The real question is whether it can keep them fighting fit, year after year, decade after decade. Subic Bay is the answer to that question. It is the spine that will sustain the backbone. What do you think? Will Subic Bay be enough to support the Philippines' naval ambitions? Or will more investment and capacity still be needed to match the vision of 2030? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to support the channel so we can keep tracking the Philippine Navy's journey.